Imagine a customer visits your website. They don't fill out any forms or wait around. They just click a button and start talking to your assistant. Moreover, if you want, this assistant can even speak with your own voice. It answers questions, schedules appointments, and gathers information. But this system is not just a voice assistant. This is a customizable artificial intelligence CRM system. You'll be truly amazed when you hear what this system can do. So who can use this system? For example, consultants can make the first contact with potential clients, inform them, and schedule appointments. Coaches meet with their clients, analyze their needs, and then step in themselves. Training companies can recommend personalized training and send a registration link. Agencies analyze the client profile, determine whether they are suitable for the service, and take action accordingly. Clinics, on the other hand, can schedule appointments, collect patient information, and enter it into the CRM. In fact, there are many areas of use, and all of these work automatically with a single system. So how is this system set up? Which tools are used? Now, let's take a look at how you configure and set up these components one by one, and how they work. First, I'll show you the demo. After the demo, we'll move on to a detailed review. Let's get started. Now, let's test the system together so you can see how it works. That way you'll understand the logic behind it. Afterwards, we'll examine each component that makes up this system one by one. The system you see here, right here on the screen, consists of the components of our CRM system, and these components work together to form the infrastructure of our CRM system. Here we have a transcriptor. We actually convert the audio from incoming meeting recordings into text. We store them in our database and convert them into vectors. When an email arrives, we extract leads from these emails, send automatic replies, and in the same way, we send follow-up emails. But first, let me show you, for example, on the Digital Academy panel, how you can interact with this chatbot, or how it provides information when you call by phone, what this AI assistant, this CRM assistant, can do. And when you accept...
Hi, I'm Chichek.
Hi, I'm Mert.
Hello, Demil. How can I help you?
Actually, I'd like to get some information about Digital Academy.
Digital Academy is one of Turkey's most comprehensive artificial intelligence education platforms. It offers trainings that help you transform your career and grow your business with artificial intelligence technologies. The platform provides you with skills you can use in real-world projects through practice-oriented courses. It also offers benefits such as weekly live support sessions and access to an exclusive mentoring network. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well, could I possibly learn a bit more about the training plans and prices, if that's okay?
There are two main training plans at Digital Academy. The monthly plan gives you access to the current training content for that month and includes weekly live support sessions. The fee for this plan is 999 Turkish lira. The annual plan, on the other hand, provides full access to past and future content throughout the year and, with a 35% discount, costs 7,999 Turkish lira. Both plans offer access to AI agent systems and guides. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Of course. Actually, I would like to schedule a meeting about this, if possible. The 20th of May works for me.
You've chosen a great date to schedule the meeting. Could you please share your full name, time zone, and email address with me? Once I have this information, I can check the available time slots.
Sure. My name is Mert. My email address is mert@gmail.com. And actually, I'm calling from Izmir.
Let's check your email address. MERT@gmail.com. For Izmir, your time zone is considered Europe, Istanbul. Now, I am checking the available time slots for May 20th. The available time slots for May 20th are as follows. 4 o'clock, 4:15, 4:30, 5, 5:15, 5:30, 6, 6:15.
6:15 works for me. 6:15 is suitable.
Your meeting has been successfully scheduled and confirmed for May 20th at exactly 6:15. You can use this link to join the meeting. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Okay, I just received the email as well. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mert. You will receive an email for your meeting. If there's nothing else I can help you with, see you next time.
See ya. This way you've seen the demo. At the same time, on my phone as well, let me show you the meeting. You can see it here. I also received a notification that the meeting was scheduled. It came as an email. The system I can connect to is here. It has received all my information, mert@gmail.com, etc. Everything is here, as you can see. Now, let's move on to the other features. For example, after scheduling this meeting in the CRM system, this lead will actually appear here among our leads after the meeting. Once this lead comes in, we will also track the meeting summary along with this lead. But let's say you receive an email. What happens when an email arrives? Let me show you that as well. When an email arrives in this CRM system, I just showed you the system working on your website. It was successful, by the way, thank you. You can also connect to the system running on this site by phone, you can make calls, and you can actually use it with your own voice. I prefer to use the assistant. Apart from that, for example, there's an incoming email in this CRM. Hello, can I get information about the May training? I sent myself an email like that. Hello, Mr. Mert. Our May trainings are starting at Digital Academy, Turkey's most comprehensive training platform. That's how the training processes work. It prepared a draft email for me saying, this is the monthly training price, and this is the annual training price. At the same time, it came here, took the information into the CRM, and as you can see in this CRM, my information is there. Also, in the CRM, there's a knowledge section that's linked to me, and there's an information section coming from Gmail that's connected to me. Here you can see the email I sent and the reply that came to this email. Now, by tracking the process from here, the AI agent records the incoming email, the email it sent, the follow-up status, and the relationships in between, all continuously in the CRM. And for us, all of this continues automatically. That's the nice part. So, this system, it records and extracts meeting conversations. Then it generates a summary of these. From here, it gathers information related to the lead. It creates a knowledge base from the information it gathers. When I say the information it gathers about the lead, for example, in the active leads, let me show you, in the follow-up section, what are a lead's goals? What do they want to achieve? What problems do they have? What questions are there? And what can be done about these? We ask these questions. So when we get a lead here, I'm showing this as an example lead. Starting a business from scratch, creating a website marketing plan, onboarding customers. Okay. Questions have come up such as the validity of the system, the sustainability of the business, how can we start with coding first, and how can we set up the system? It gathers information from the entire meeting. Think of this as a meeting summary, or you can also get it from this email, such as the difficulty of setting up a system without coding, lack of necessary information, and so on, and prepares it for you. In this way, you have all the systems you need to convert the lead into a sale. After this, if there is a problem and you can truly provide a solution, you can make suggestions in this way and follow up with your lead. I'm going back. After this, we create a knowledge base. In this knowledge base, we actually have all our videos. There is information about our entire website. For example, here's the file for the website. Let me show you like this. This is the file for the website. We collect all the information about the website here. In this way, the AI agent knows all the information. At the same time, all your conversations, the meetings you have, for example, products, the landing page, for instance, we provide the agentic service, information about agentic, then information about the Digital Academy, the programs we offer in trainings, the videos I publish on YouTube, their translations, transcripts, all of these are included. So when a question comes up about an issue on YouTube or about a YouTube video, the AI agent answers on my behalf. Basically, what I'm trying to do is create an AI agent that possesses all the knowledge I have. I categorize these as trainings. I take the information from Gmail and transfer it to the lead. I also match the ones coming from the product to the product. After that, I transfer all of these into the database. It might sound complicated, but it's not. I can explain the logic step by step. This vector database allows our AI to quickly process and use this information when needed, and in fact, we're already using it here. When an email arrives here, the AI takes it. You can see it like this. An email. Hello, can I get information about the May training? The AI analyzes this email. First, it makes a decision. Is this an email about a product? Is it a sales-related inquiry? In other words, is it about agentic or is it about something else? If it's related to the product, it goes to our vector database, meaning the database where all the information is stored. It pulls the necessary information from this database. Our prompt is like this as well. Can I get information about the May training? Can I get information about it? So it pulls information about May from our database, and it pulls information about the training. Then it writes an email about this, starting with hello. With all the information we've pulled from our vector database, the email is directed to the relevant parties. Actually, I don't want it to send the email directly. It saves it as a draft in my mailbox. That way I can review it, I can make any necessary changes and send it automatically. It speeds up my work a lot. After that, it goes and registers this new customer in our CRM. Now, as you can see, we have a new lead here. Let's go from open. This one. This lead has an information section. Active, the records are active. There's an info and information section. As you can see, the knowledge is also here. When I click, I can see that they asked, hello, can I get information about me? And that we sent our email. You can see it automatically. So there is a system that is managed, organized, and tracked by very advanced artificial intelligence. We sent the email, but there was no reply. In that case, we go and send a follow-up email here. We had a conversation like this, asking what decision you made. This is also a system that follows up, so your AI salesperson is working right alongside you. It does this after sales meetings, as well as after one-on-one meeting summaries. We did it, let's say we had a 15-minute meeting, but we didn't get a reply to our email. The system automatically follows up with you. It reminds your lead that you had such a meeting and that you were going to take certain actions. Have you changed your mind, or can we go to such a solution? It makes a suggestion like that. So that's why this system is so powerful. Now I've shown the demo. Step by step, we'll start by setting up the SS agent you just saw on the Digital Academy site. This SS agent will schedule appointments for us, provide information to visitors on the site, and also check our calendar to plan appointments. This is very important. Using this SS agent is very important. There are a few different solutions for this. You can use it on different platforms. I'll show the part that's done through ElevenLabs. After that, step by step, how do we create this database? How do we create leads? How do we set up this email system in Airtable? How do we set up the vector database rec system? We will do all of this together. Let's get started. This is conversational AI on ElevenLabs, the platform where you can create SS agents. Here, I'll show the costs. By the way, it looks like I also have an unpaid invoice. So there have been 21 calls with an average duration of 1.43 minutes. That's a total of 9,255 credits. Altogether, the whole system has cost $2.30. Now let me show you how you can set it up. Digital Academy is our AI agent here. When you create a new AI agent from here, you'll have the same structure. First, there's the agent. We select Turkish as the agent's language. After that, you can add different languages here if you want, and it can speak in those languages. I kept the first message simple. Hi, I'm Çiçek. Here, your name is Çiçek, and we also have our system prompt here, where we write what you should say first. After that, with the system prompt, we actually train this AI agent. You are a support representative named Çiçek. You are very friendly and enthusiastic. You genuinely want the customer to get the help they need. Answer with short sentences. You have two main tasks. You answer product questions for Digital Academy and Airtable. As you can see here, we are providing training. So for example, your task is to answer like this. We write a prompt down here to show how you can fulfill this task. Then this is your second task. You also help me manage meeting reservations. For this, use the name they provide and where they searched from to determine their names and time zones for scheduling the meeting. So, use this information to do the following. Before scheduling any meeting, always use the Get Available Slots tool to confirm my availability. I'll show you how to set this up. This tool requires a start and end dated time, and it returns the available time slots. If a specific date and time are not provided, check the time slots for tomorrow and continue checking daily until availability is found. Let's say a client called. They said they want to meet but didn't specify a particular time slot. They asked, when are you available? So Çiçek goes and checks the next day. If there's no availability that day, she checks the following day, and if not, the day after that, trying to find an available time slot. Always verify the time slot, and email. This is important. Always assume you are scheduling for 2025. Emails should be in the format math@gmail.com. So we're showing an example format. The reservation start time should also be in this way, in our format. The time zone should be in continent city format, because the platform where we'll make the reservation requires the information in this way. So we collect the information from the customer in this format as well. The logic behind this actually depends on how you want to establish the connection and where you want to set up this system. We also use a tool called call.com to manage our meetings and to create appointments on our behalf. Since this tool requires the information in this way, that's actually why we collect these details. Don't try to book a meeting without agreeing on a time by using getAvailableSlots. Do not share or leak any meeting details, participant information, or identities. This is important. If booking meeting fails, the reason could be an invalid email format, time zone, or an inappropriate time slot. With getAvailableSlots, let me do it like this. Assign the candidates to the slot section with a command in English. Check it in English. Because this platform uses English for the backend API structure where we can send requests. So work with it in English, respond to the customer in Turkish. As you can see, you decide how this agent will operate in multiple languages. If it were working in Russian, it would be in Russian. It could respond in Russian, process in English in the background, and then deliver the answer in whatever language you want. It's entirely up to you. Here, I explained this so you can see the logic of our basic prompt. As you can see here, there is a knowledge base. This is the same knowledge base I showed earlier, information I pulled from websites. But here, there are tools. These tools are actually here so that the AI agent can use them. One of them is book meeting to organize meetings. Get available slots is to find available times. End call is by saying, please end the call. Actually, end call comes automatically so that it can end the meeting. Here we also have our API key. Now let me explain how we're going to do these things. First of all, to schedule a meeting time or to book a meeting, you can also use a calendar. You can use different systems as well. I use cal.com. It works for me. It makes things easier. It really simplifies my life. That's why I use this. When we click on Go to App, there's a system where you have these event types. From here, when you click New, you can create an appointment. Let's call it Test. In this way, you create a system, an appointment system. What is this? This is a meeting type. You can set it for 30 minutes, 50 minutes, 150 minutes, or 15 minutes if you want. It's completely up to you. Where will I do it? I'll do it over a video call. That way, with a single link, I'll be able to have a video meeting directly from here. But Google Meet works too, or any other way you prefer. Zoom is fine as well, it doesn't matter at all. This is how you schedule your meetings. At the same time, there's also availability here, so you see them whenever you are available. For example, you can set it from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. There are limits. How often can it be scheduled? There are more detailed options. Where should it go? What should be done? Which calendar should it be linked to? You can set up any system you want with workflows, automations, and webhooks. As soon as a meeting is scheduled, you can set it up for other team members. You can schedule internal team meetings. There's a lot you can do, but what's important for us is knowing this system's API integration. So we have an API key. You can get the API key from here. Let me show you right away. Let's say you created an API here as a test. The API key you created will appear. You can come here, click Add Secret, and give it any name you want. Here you'll paste your API key as bearer, followed by a space, and then your API key. First, we're going to set this up. After that, we just scheduled a meeting here, right? A test meeting. This meeting has an ID, and that ID is right here. We can see it like this. It comes right after the /in types. We need this ID. Why do we need it? Now, we're going to configure these tools. First, we'll configure the getAvailable tool so it can find our available times. Then it will schedule the meeting according to that available time. For the getAvailable tool, you can go to Add Tool, select Custom Tool, and from the webhook section, you can configure and create this tool. Here, I'm showing you the version I've already set up. Now, first of all, the name is getAvailable Tools. You need to use it this way, because we'll be sending requests with this. Cal expects you to use it like this. In the description, I wrote that this is to be used to check available time slots for the meeting. The reason I said this is because actually, Chichek will be using this tool. We're giving a tool to Chichek. Chichek also needs to know what this tool is. We're sending a request here. Actually, cal.com is telling us this. How can we understand this? When we go to the cal.com API section, as you can see, when you come here, it tells you how you can connect and what the endpoints are like. For example, Let's type slots here. Let's go there right away. Like this, when we do this, for example, this is actually the get available slots one. It tells us how we need to send the request. As you can see, we need to send a request to this address. It gives it to us here. It tells us in the body that we need to send a request to this address in this way. So we need to specify the date. Besides the date, what else do we need to provide about the customer? Start and the API version. And we provide the API version here, as you'll see. Also, you can provide all the customer details like username, email, and so on. Here, we're also providing the event type ID. This actually tells us how we need to send the request. So we structure it accordingly here, logically. First of all, it told us that we need to send a request to this address. Then this is the API version. Since it specifically asks us to specify this, we add it to the header. But actually, there's one more header here. The secret, you need to enter the secret, the password you just created with the API key here so that cal.com knows this request is coming from you and allows you to proceed. Here we'll just write authorization. Below we'll select the API key. This will be saved automatically and then it will disappear from there. Then we send the query. The queries are like this. They asked us for end, so we provided it. We specify that the date should be in this format, and also the start date should be in this format as well. These are example dates, so send the date in this format. So whatever you want. If, for example, you say you want it on May 20th, it sends the request from May 20th to May 20th. Since it asks for the time zone, we provide the time zone. It's a string like this. As you can see, all of these are strings. The data type is string. Element prompt. Only the event type is an integer, so we send the event type ID as an integer. The constant variable, the constant value here is actually this address in the event type. This is our event type ID. It might seem complicated, but don't let it. You'll really be able to do these steps when you want. We also have a book meeting tool. With the book meeting tool, let's say we found a suitable time just like before. This time we need to make the reservation. We also get the request for the book meeting tool from the API documentation here. But I'll show you how it works again. In the same way, you can do this by selecting Add Tool or Custom Tool. This tool adds the meeting to the calendar once an agreement is reached on a time. The data variable in the API response needs to be filled in order to assume that suitable times have been found. We also tell this to Chichek so that she can work accordingly. This time we're sending a request here. And this is the API version for it. After that, we won't be sending anything like a query here. Here we'll be sending a body. First, we say in the description, collect these variables for the tool, send them to the call API. Collect this information, these variables. First, the start part comes in, LLM prompt. Time, it gives the time format. Then as we can see here, there's something, attendee. It will be sent as an attendee object. This is how Chrome.com wants it from us. The attendees details, you must collect these fields from the user. So these are the details of the participant. You need to get these details from the user. Time zone, again, just like before. You need to get their email so we can send an email, and you need to get their name. That's it. Then by the way, we add all of these underneath. The second one, again, we add the event type ID as an integer separately, and the constant variable constant values are also the same ID. When we do these, our system is ready. This way, we can actually start talking to Chichek. We can make changes with Chichek. Here, basically, we've set up Chichek, but maybe we want to change her voice. Right now, this is Chichek's voice.
Then, with an energetic attitude, yes, that's me.
But for example, there's also 216 here.
Each riddle is a small adventure for your imagination.
We can also try 216, but only in Turkish. For example, your own voice.
Later that same evening.
The voices are up to you.
I can't wait to work with you in your upcoming projects. Give my voice and add it, and let's see where it takes us.
All the voices can be changed. As you can see, it's completely under your control. You can change the pronunciations. Latency, stability, speed, similarity, a lot of things can be changed. Besides that, you can add analysis. You can add information collection. You can add security settings. From here, you can also get this agent from the widget section in any way you want. For example, hello, hello. Hello. You can also write it like this. It's completely up to you. You can also shape and adjust this from here. It's quite easy. You can use it on any site you want. In this way, we've seen how our voice agent works and which tools it uses. Now we're moving on to the next part, creating our database. Here, as you can see, you'll see how our leads are positioned, why they exist here, and all the details. This Airtable is actually a very powerful system, like Excel on steroids, with extremely high automation capabilities. I also really enjoy using it, and it's very pleasant to use as a database. How do you set this up? I'll show you what we're doing here. Now, I'll talk about our first tool here. First of all, as you can see, we have a tool here in Airtable, Transcribe Media. Transcribe Media is from our knowledge section. What do we mean by knowledge? Knowledge is simply all the information we have. It shows what our AI agent knows. For example, what does our AI agent know here? Let's say someone named Mert sent an email. I also gave an answer to this. It knows this, and we need to add it to the database. In the same way, it knows my videos on YouTube. In the same way, it knows about international research that I want it to be aware of, systems related to AI agents, NT's documentation, marketing systems, and many other things. And what we do here is first convert our own videos and Zoom meetings. So let's say a lead comes in and we have a meeting with them, a sales meeting. I want to give this information about the lead to the AI agent so that it can track the information related to this lead. If necessary, it can send an email to them. It can send an email. Without me having to deal with it personally or intervene at any stage, as you can see here in this demonstration, our system is able to automatically pull in our lead, follow up with them, find and gather the relevant information about the lead from the training materials, and then compose and write an appropriate email accordingly, all on its own. That's the really great part. Now, first we need to convert these into Zoom meetings and upload them to the database. There are many ways to do this. You can download them here, you can transcribe them, you can use OpenAI's Whisper here as a note. But for example, using OpenAI's Whisper can only be done with a 50 megabyte limit within that. This actually leads to the following problem. You can't process very long meetings. Maybe the meeting lasted an hour, maybe 2 hours. We had our lead here. I added a file to this lead right here. This file is a video. I uploaded my own automated video. It kept getting stuck, kept getting stuck, kept getting stuck. All right. Now, we held a meeting here. Let's assume we had a meeting with this lead. Since I can't show the meeting recordings, let's just assume we had a meeting. So, in this meeting, by the way, I also add examples I like from abroad into this system. You can feed the AI agent with information from any sources you love or find useful. Think of it that way, for example. You can take legal information, create a legal AI agent, and respond to your clients or provide any kind of consultancy. You can fill it with information. Now, let's say there's a video here. Let's assume this video is one of our meetings. We added this. As soon as it arrives here, as soon as it is automatically added from the meeting, it goes to the transcribe section in the system. So this area gets filled. It says there's a link here, and we check whether it has been transcribed or not. Source media, none. No text file. So, it has come to the transcribe section. In that case, I'll show this manually. By the way, let me pull this over here like this. I'll show it manually. There is a meeting file that hasn't been transcribed yet. In other words, it hasn't been processed. We'll start it like this first. When we do it this way, it will automatically pull our file from here. With our lead, the file titled Hello, Information About May is an untranscribed file. Okay, what did we do? Here, we pulled the system from Airtable. So from Airtable, we had a ready meeting here, and it automatically appeared here. By the way, this meeting is related to this lead. As you can see, it's not just that, we also have our lead here. This is our lead. We have this kind of information about it. On the information side, we have a meeting like this as well. So as you can see, there is no transcript for this meeting because it hasn't been held yet. That's why it was automatically transferred here. We actually have an automation. This system works completely automatically. I'm showing you manually, so we won't be doing these things manually one by one here. I'm showing you step by step so you can see what's happening. We put a note here where we pulled information from Airtable. You can do these in A110 using the drag and drop method. When you write to Airtable, a system like this already appears. For example, you select Get a Record. We said record here too. Then we chose Search. We use the search node here. Blaze CRM, this is Blaze CRM. It's our own CRM. By the way, Blaze is actually an agent we use in Agentic. This system is a system we set up for our clients. When you go to Agent Equity roles, you can see Blaze here. As you can see, this is actually Blaze. So the system working here is actually this friend of ours, our AI agent Blaze. Blaze is a sales assistant, a sales performance expert, and it's actually Blaze who uses this CRM as well. You're seeing one of the working models of Blaze in the background. When you hire Blaze, Blaze provides these services for you. These include systems like sales team optimization, sales strategy, and customer acquisition. Blaze delivers these. Here, you can also see the other agents. When you go to Agent Statement, you can hire agents related to your business. From here, you can get a quote and start working with agents by writing down your needs. As I said, agent is at agentic.com.tr. Many AI agents have started working at many companies, and they are doing amazing work. It's truly impressive to see how the world is changing and how working life is transforming. Being one of the people doing this also makes me very happy. I hope your company needs such solutions and that you get in touch. You can start working with agentic agents, or you can learn how to set these up for your business at Digital Academy, just like in this video. This video is also one of the background working models of Blaze. Now, in Airtable, in Blaze CRM, from its own CRM, from this knowledge section, these entries that go into transcribe are automatically added, as you can see here. If in transcribe the source URL or source media is not empty, in other words, if something has been entered there, we set it to appear in this view. It pulls the information that comes into transcribe. The moment you upload something here, it automatically appears here. As you can see here, our link has arrived. Here we make an HTTP request. On DigitalOcean, to the Docker we set up ourselves. On DigitalOcean, to the Docker we set up ourselves. Here we have an application called Digital Academy. This application does the translation for us, and actually it works here. This is, if you use this system a lot, it's very, very suitable. I use the high-priced one, but you can also get the $12 monthly plan. Here, you set up your own application. You'll see what it is and how it works in a moment. The important thing is actually to reduce the cost. If you constantly need meetings, ongoing conversations, or continuous translation, instead of using OpenAI's model here, you can use your own system for free. Here, we don't pay for any model, we only might pay for the server. You can also set this up on your own computer. It's actually a bit more complicated, so it's harder. But if you have the necessary technical knowledge, it can be done. But it's also quite possible to use it on a platform like DigitalOcean. When you use this, you have an application like this on DigitalOcean. You set up an application like this, and by sending requests here, you have the translation done there. You can think of it as having a computer do it. Let me show you like this. As you can see here, we're going to send this request. Now, when we send this request, we have a webhook here. What is this? I want to show you, as I mentioned, there are automations here. One of Airtable's strengths is being able to use it with automations. Here, there's also a transcription webhook. Right here, automation 1. When I use this webhook, this information will come to me. I have a webhook address here, and I put this information into it. So when the video transcription comes back from there, I will go and actually transfer the incoming information to these parts here, the text URL and text URL sections. There are two, one in the file and one in the transcription URL. You'll see what I mean in a moment. We're actually going to fill in these parts. Keep the system running. Test it. As you can see, it started. In the JSON, 202 went through successfully. Processing. I didn't understand. When it arrives here, and since automation is active, the system will run and we'll actually get it from here. Where is this running? This is actually running here. When you look at the runtime logs, you can see the system working here. As you can see, it's running right now. The system is progressing. And as you can see, it's gone. How did it go? It was transcribed automatically. Where did it go? It went to the index. Was it indexed? No. We will decide that. But here we have a file. If we download this, it doesn't open here. When we download this text file, let's open it right away. As you can see, this is our first video. The transcript of this video, which I said we would set up from scratch in a few hours over several videos, has appeared in front of us. It was also saved to Airtable. Now we have this information. So what is our index row? Is it indexed or not indexed? It's actually checking this. As you can see, all of these here have been processed. All of the ones in knowledge here are actually indexed. All of these are in the system because we came and took the index part. When I say we took the index part, we added these to our database. We've indexed them now in the vector database, so these systems are in place. But this one here hasn't been indexed yet. I'll explain this in a moment, but we'll move on to the system below. We'll move on to the system over there. But first, I want to talk about how you can set up the automation here. Now, there was a view here. We took the transcribe part. We said it automatically appears here, but our automation here is a bit different. We set up an automation here. I can show it like this as well. A response came here from a body via a hook. This is our response because we embedded this webhook into the HTTP request ourselves. This way, when the process is completed, the system sends information to the webhook we want. That's how it works. We embedded it here. The reason we embedded it here is that as soon as this process is finished, information is sent to our webhook here. As you can see, we have an automation called when webhook received. So as soon as information arrives here, this automation starts. And then when the information comes in, we see these details. For example, its ID, content, and so on. Then we add another action here. In the action, we go to the knowledge table, which is where all the relevant information is stored, and by matching with the ID from the body, by matching with the ID that we receive, we tell the system to fill in both the text and the URL fields. This means that once the correct ID is found, the corresponding text and URL are automatically populated in their respective fields, ensuring the data is accurate and up to date. And where do we fill this in from? This already comes from here. So for example, if I were to do one more, if I add it like this, let's say update record. As soon as the information arrives, I select a table. The knowledge table, where does the ID come from? The ID is in the body. The ID is here, we select it. Okay. Choose field. Okay. Which field do I need to fill in? What was it? Text. Where does the text come from? It's inside the body. The answer, in the response. The text comes from the URL and also the text file. Again, it's inside the body just like before. The response text comes from the URL, so we've set up the same thing. This way, when we set this up, I'm deleting this again. So basically, I set up an automation inside Airtable that says, as soon as information comes in from a webhook, fill in these fields with that data. This way, the system works automatically. And so, after it drops into transcribe in knowledge and this system runs, the summary comes in. The transcription comes in, and then we get our summary. As you can see, there's also a summarize section. We're going to take the summary. I'm going to show this right now. Here, we'll pull it from the summarize section in knowledge. Now, for something to appear in the summarize section, we have certain conditions. It must be in the sales calls category, the text file must not be empty, and the targets must also be empty for now. Some weird things will show up here, but I'm just demonstrating as an example. Ours is in the Gmail section because it came via email. But if it had been a sales call, as you can see, it would have appeared in the summarize section. Once it appears in the summarize section, also our system comes into play. When we go here and run the system from here, as I said, all of these work automatically. I'm entering it manually. When we run this system, our system will come in, and from here it will share the goals, concerns, dreams, everything that comes out of this meeting, summarize everything, and we'll actually have more information about the lead. After the meeting, we'll be able to see what we can do, what actions we can take, what obstacles there are, and what works in our favor. We'll see everything. Here again, in the same way, we pull this information from this table. As I said, the automation starts automatically. As soon as it starts, it pulls the information and downloads the file. We give this to OpenAI. As you can see, OpenAI generates the summary. The goals are to start a business from scratch, build the website, and onboard customers. The dream is to establish a fully functioning visa consultancy business. This is the summary generated from the video. I had tried that before as well. Uncertainties and fears. There is a lack of information about how the system will work. These could be obstacles. Towards the end, how will we start with coding? How can I set up the system I have in mind without doing any coding? Global examples. In which areas can an app or startup be established? As you can see from this very short video, it generated systems and summaries. And in addition, it converted our lead into a CSV and wrote down the goals, obstacles, fears, everything here. It also wrote down the questions. It brought this here as well. So now we have more information about this lead and what we can do. You can diversify this according to yourself, your sector, however you like. You use it for a gym. Questions, answers. Do you use it for another business? It could be accounting. It doesn't matter at all. This is an AI-powered CRM that can be applied to any sector. And with this CRM, we achieve very successful results in every sector. It really increases sales tenfold. Now we will move on to the indexing part here. I've shown this part as well. In this part, we fetch the file with an HTTP request. We get the file's address from here again. The URLs come here anyway. We fetch it with an HTTP request. After that, we send it to OpenAI. We have a prompt like this. Let's take this incoming file. From here, determine the objectives. Then provide the outputs in this way. After that, we come and save this to Airtable again. Now we've come to the vector database system. We are going to start this. We need to create a vector database because vector databases are processed much faster by artificial intelligence models than regular files. You can think of vector databases as a language that is much more easily readable for them. We break this into pieces, the information, and label them, logically speaking. We divide it into parts that are readable and quickly accessible for artificial intelligence, and now we assign a label to each of them. Here, I am pulling all the information from Airtable. I am pulling it from the index row. What is the index row? It's this. The ones that haven't been indexed yet, because I don't want to send the same things to my vector database over and over again. There's no point in that. That's why I pull the information that hasn't been indexed yet from the vector. This is a new conversation we had. This is new. A new customer just came in. Now, the AI should also have knowledge about this. By the way, let's be able to label this in the index as well. And when we label it, if the AI needs to follow up with this customer, it should do so. That's our goal. At the same time, the AI is fully aware of all these video meetings, all my files, everything I know, all customer files, everything I need to follow up on, my daily activities, my integrated systems, everything. You can also think about this for yourself. Let's say you are running a clinic. The AI can be aware of all patient information, their personal opinions, their problems, what they want to do, everything. It acts automatically on their birthdays. It remembers things about them, reminds you, and makes a lot of plans. Here we're talking about a very advanced sales assistant. It's very different from a regular employee. It's both a CRM, a sales assistant, and a customer representative. It does all of these at once right now. That's why this system is a very, very powerful one. Regarding the future, I'm having trouble finding the right word, but I think it gives us an idea about future work models. Now here you can think of it like this. Every new piece of information we get, we add it to our agent's memory to make it smarter and more knowledgeable. The vector database is its memory. We use Pinecone for the vector database. There are vector database platforms like Pinecone. One of them is Pinecone. Here we create our data in Pinecone. We save it here. It operates through this. Here we have a Pinecone database called Digital Academy. When you start from scratch here, you click on Create Index, and from there, let's say text embedding small $3 is usually sufficient. You can give it a name here, and once you do that, you can start using the system. You can set it up through Pinecone. Then you connect the agent to Pinecone. I'll show you. First, you need to set up Pinecone. In our system, a file already comes from the index row in knowledge, which is the transcription. I use a code for this here. Actually, it's to clean the URL and to crawl the web. Then we pull this file into the integration. So what do we do in Airtable? Here we take the ID. We take the ID and match it. After that, first we pull the file from here. Then we get the ID. We come to the Pinecone vector store, so you can add it to Pinecone from here. As you can see, this is the vector store. You can add it here. After adding it, we will convert our data into vectors here. How does this work? Digital Academy, here we have our list, as you saw a moment ago. If I put 000 would also be added there. We select from here and choose Insert Documents. We can get information from here, add information, or upload a file. The operation we will perform here is Insert Document. Underneath, we add embeddings to this. These will come automatically here. Embeddings are from OpenAI, so we are embedding this with OpenAI. To use OpenAI, you go to platform.openai.com, and from there, let me not log in again. You can take the API key from here and connect it here. A minimum $5 deposit will be required. After that, there is a system here where you split the documents. I use these here. I separated them as category, title, and text. Because I'm trying to convert it to a category, but I also assign an ID next to it. And I assign the title like this. You'll see now. Let's run it once. See how it works. It pulled the file from the index. What we just did, it cleaned up the code, got the file by its ID, and put it into the vector database. As you can see, we fetched this information here. The data also came from here. We pulled the ID from here. We extracted our ID over there. Here, for the Pinecone vector database, we first provided the namespace as the item. This is a sales call, and it gets matched with a sales call thing. It processes it here as a sales call. There are a few trainings here. There's Gmail, product, and sales call. So this is how we match it from here, actually. This helps us find those data later on. After that, here, this part already works automatically. As you can see, it splits things into pieces. But here, in the default data loader, there is no category. There's also no title, but here we have tags. This is our first video. It continues as a few videos. Then here, there's an ID. This ID is actually our ID from Airtable. We match this data with the customer ID. After that, since there is no title, the title field is empty. This is our source URL. Since we pulled it from here, the category is empty. When we match these like this part, which is our first video, is saved there together with our ID. We've come here. I'm going to go from search the list. Here, the ones that are sale calls appear like this. When I say fetch for this, it only displays. It doesn't have any other function. Look, as you can see, here is our ID. We have our category, our URL, and here it is saved in a matched way. So what did we do? We took some information from here, a file into N8, and then transferred it to the vector database. For this, we used the Pinecone vector store tool. We selected insert documents. We sent the TXT file, the text file. You can also send this as a PDF or in another format. It's completely up to your preference. It's very simple. So even when you do it from scratch, after adding Pinecone and selecting Add Documents to Vector Store, look, it will appear like this. After that, you'll add OpenAI for embeddings underneath this. You'll connect your account from here. You'll enter your API key by selecting Create New Credential. You don't need to enter this. Then here, for the document, you'll use the default data loader. And for the tag splitter, you'll use the character or recursive character tag splitter again. But if you want, you don't have to use the recursive one. You can also put the chunks inside with the character tag splitter. So setting this up is actually this simple. This will automatically notify your AI agent whenever a file comes into the index section. Now let's continue. How will we proceed when an email arrives, and how will we do the follow-up? Let's get to those. First, the follow-up email. Actually, let's have the email come in first. Let me show you what happens when this email arrives. Then we'll look at the follow-up part. We've reached the part where the email arrives. I actually just showed how the system works when an email comes in. First, we have a Gmail trigger. This trigger activates and checks the emails every hour. From these emails, it pulls the OpenAI email. After that, we have our decision-making node. Here's our prompt for this part. Here, take the subject and the email. Is this a question about Digital Academy, or is it a system related to sales? Decide on this. If not, send it to the other folder. Send it to the other side, I say. You'll see here that these options are available. If it's a sales inquiry, let it go from the top. If it's sales, let it go through the middle. If it's a product question, meaning if it's about Digital Academy, let it go from the top. If it's something else, let it go from the bottom. Now here, as an example, I'm only showing the sales part. In the sales section, first we go to Pinecone Vector Store. Let me show you now by actually sending an email. Now I sent myself an email. Hello, I'm interested in the May training. Can I get information about this? I want to start an AI agency. That's my goal. By the way, if you want to start an AI agency, Digital Academy is really very suitable for you. How do you build an AI agency from scratch? What steps do you need to take? How did I become successful? How do I sell these services? I teach all of it. Now we've started the system. The email has arrived. As you can see, it received this email. Hello, it was the May training. Then it sent it up because this is a product question. It checked from the database. It thought, what can I say about this? What do I know? It also prepared a draft email for me here. Hello, Mert. Thank you for your interest in the May training. Our training program offers comprehensive content designed to automate your business processes, increase your efficiency, and provide you with the necessary infrastructure and knowledge when starting your agency. The monthly price for the May training is 999 TL. The annual plan is 799 TL, allowing you to save 35%. The training focuses on AI agent systems and automation integration, aiming to equip you with the skills necessary to launch your own AI agency. That's how it was done, as you can see. Hello, I am interested in the May training. My goal is, and so on and so forth. Now, we can duplicate these prompts, but let me show you where it got this information from. The email arrived, it extracted the subject from here. It labeled it as a product question. That's why it proceeded from the top. What did we give to the Pinecone vector store? We gave it the question. We gave it the prompt. We said something like, this is coming. So what did it do in the Pinecone vector store? It went there. Digital Academy trainings, frequently asked questions, contact, my panel. As you can see, it found the information about us from this content. We can see it from the JSON. It's truly incredible. It found the information here. It also exported this information. So according to the incoming prompt here, it found and extracted the information based on the message. After that, we divided it into pieces like this. In this way, we gained access to more information. Afterwards, since it shaped and extracted this information, meaning the information existing in this database, according to the request, we provided this information to OpenAI, to the Chat 4.0 model. The 4.0 model then took the information from here. It retrieved the price information. For example, it got the category, it got the information. It also took who the email is from. After that, it wrote the email. As you can see, the email it wrote is actually the one I received. I then went and saved this as a draft. I saved it to the system. It appeared as a draft. You saw it a moment ago as well. But at the same time, we go to Airtable and assume that this is a new lead. Actually, it's an old lead, but we assume it's a new one. We went in, saved the email address, and created the lead. After that, we entered and opened all the information related to this lead, its 2 IDs, everything. In this way, the system gained a new lead. As you can see, we have one more lead. This one just came in. In this way, our new lead has been registered. Now, if we have a meeting or something with this lead, those will be recorded there. But we will talk about our old lead. If there were sales here, they would come, take the email, and categorize it in their mailbox. When a new email falls into that category, another automation is triggered and the sales team starts working. That's a topic for another video. This would get too long, but that's the logic. We pulled our information from the vector store and the AI responded. Now it will also be able to do follow-ups from this vector store. A moment ago, we pulled the data from a hypothetical meeting. As you can see here, we can track data from the follow-up, leads follow-up section. Who is in the leads follow-up section? A new system entry has been added. In the new system, we then run our automation in the follow-up section. Let me trigger this automation. All right, now let's test how the follow-up email is created. As we can see, it will fetch the information from Airtable and it has pulled our lead from the follow-up section. After that, it retrieved the necessary information from the Pinecone vector store related to the question. What is our question? Find information about this. Starting a business from scratch, building the website, onboarding customers, creating a marketing plan, preparing a media plan. At the same time, find information about this and so on. So what was the result? We received this lead. We identified this lead's goals and problems. Artificial intelligence identified them. Then we try to find results from our own knowledge base in the Pinecone vector store. In other words, our AI agent, our artificial intelligence, knows everything from our own knowledge base, from how I explain things, whatever solutions I have on this topic, whatever I explained in which YouTube video. That's why it is familiar with everything I talk about, all the topics, and it makes suggestions to the other party based on my knowledge. So it doesn't provide information on topics that I can't handle or that I'm not familiar with. It only provides information on exactly what I have said before, what I have talked about previously, and whatever topic I have knowledge about. It goes and researches this, then it draws conclusions from here. Just like you can see here. and from here. It produced this as a valuable insight for reconnecting. Let me just adjust this here. Like this as an email. Let's do it. I'll send it like this. Let's say test it. Okay? As you can see, it also prepared the draft. We fixed that too. Now I'm curious to see what came in. But here you can also see the email it prepared. Here I want to write a 2 or 3 sentence email based on the information received. Here we also pulled the Pinecone vectors information on the left. I wrote an email here using the information that came in. And it is as follows. We previously had the opportunity to talk with you about your business goals and vision. We are aware of the uncertainties we discussed and the missing information regarding how we will move forward. I recommend our video, in which we explain in 7 steps how to become a leading expert in your field and ensure that clients find you. With this video, you can gain more information about how to optimize your marketing strategy. It also provides the YouTube link. You can reach out if you have any questions. For example, let's say there is a problem here. How will it be solved? He decided to provide information about this. For instance, he said, watch this YouTube video so we can solve this problem. At the same time, he received this as an email. He provided it ready to be sent as an email. So, in the follow-up, he says, based on our previous conversation, there are these issues. He says, I'm sending you an email, finds the relevant information about that person, and then sends it, as you can see. This is what's important. You can change this. You can also do this just to pull information about that person, for example. For example, let's set the Pinecone namespace as sales calls. Alright, so let's do a sales call, just as a bit of a trial run for some extra practice. A sales call and also a knowledge sharing session as well. Is it knowledge? Of course, I'm going to take this in a different direction here. Alright. And also it's important to remember our past conversations with the client, where we discussed their specific needs, preferences, and expectations in detail. Reflecting on those previous discussions helps us ensure that we are fully aligned with what the client wants and allows us to provide the best possible service moving forward. So where is our data? Let's try it now as well. This way, it will be a different approach. I also want to show the current email. From which angle, how you provide information will change. This is one way of following up. The second one is a different way of following up, as you can see here. I hope everything is about how you can build your visa consultancy business from scratch. I had recorded a video on how to set up a system without coding. So for example, let's see where our email is. Hello, I hope things were going well for Mert Dermis. We have a video series that covers how coding can help you build your visa consultancy business from scratch. These videos can be a great starting point to kick off your project's development and eliminate uncertainties. Here is the link where you can access the video. He provided a Loom video. In this Loom video, he actually shared the part we discussed here. Incredible. If you have any questions, I would be happy to help you. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Best regards, Mert. So, as you can see, what you provide is very important. We have all the information and discussed more here. In this video, he explains it in case you might have knowledge about this topic. This video is a meeting video, by the way.
Recording.
It's a 1-hour video. Even the smallest thing a company does in a day, let's say, imagine they did nothing at all. It's possible to improve further, we'll get there, and so on. I'll show you how you can create many products that can be used for whiteboarding and what you can do with them. I'll share a few videos. I'm trying to understand why it's being given. But as I said, the main idea is to just grab your tea or coffee and actually create the project you have in mind. And since it's so rare, that's why whiteboarding is on the rise, as I mentioned. It's gaining traction within a certain community. Only those who follow closely know about it. Afterwards, I think this way it can appeal to everyone. But in my opinion, it's important to see how it can change in real-world scenarios. You'll see where it stands. Now let me share my screen. Edit.
Truth device.
This surprised me too. Right now,
After the AI system onboards a person, it will prepare all the processes for them and put them into a system for the advisor's approval, without the advisor having to do anything. And the best part is, by tracking Facebook groups, online comments, everything, what problems arise with which visa consultancy, with which visa company, what is needed, who has commented, what experiences people have had. Since we will also add these to our database, We will actually create a very knowledgeable system for ourselves, and it will constantly gain information from real people's experiences. Well, if there are people dealing with visa matters, maybe they've come across this. People put in effort for this. Get our guidance. Expert support. Of our panel, the one I use the most.
Incredible.
AI agent. So, where does this AI agent get all this information from? We'll get to that first.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, but could you please help me?
Okay, since it came up, let's address it.
What you told me.
Now, this is actually our live broadcast. Here, I showed how I sent the system in this AI video even before the video was published. Its infrastructure, how it works, how we did this coding, and so on. Incredible, because it found this information. From this information, it went and extracted the thing. Look, I explained this here. In this meeting, from the meeting summary, the visa issue, because how did our client approach us when looking at our lead? The client's gallery, because the video, how are we going to start coding? Uncertainties, a fully functioning visa consultancy business. Dream outcome, there is such a goal. So I said I explained all this in the AI agent in this video. That's why he sent an email saying, oh, come take a look at this, and shared the Loon video. And in this video, I was actually explaining exactly this topic, how this system is set up in a meeting within the training content. He shared that. So you might be aware of the power of the system. How powerful is this system? What can it do? How can it track things? How does it provide support? So honestly, where we're headed is very exciting, very fun. But unfortunately, formal education is not ready for this yet. It hasn't adapted to it. The ways of doing business, as I always say, are changing a lot. You'll encounter it all of a sudden. Suddenly, you'll be hit with just how much things have changed in the world and how the sector will change in Turkey as well. That's why a lot of people will lose their jobs. But at the same time, those who are actually aware of this have the opportunity and advantage to get ahead by using these things right now. We're still at the very beginning of everything. But it's coming, and now it's clear how things will progress. So, as things take shape, all business systems and working models will shift to this. As I said, you can use this system for your clinic, your office, your own brand, for your consulting firm if you are a consultant, for your coaching business if you are a coach, for tracking clients, making sales, or sharing your knowledge, basically in all of these areas. There are many use cases, and all of these examples are systems that will multiply your sales tenfold. If you want to work with this system, I'm leaving the link below. You can get services from Blaze by Agentic. Write to them so they can contact you, explain everything, and solve your problems. Or if you want to learn how to set these up, how to start from scratch and build them, develop them yourself, or offer these services, if you want to start an AI agency and provide these services, you can also join Digital Academy. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please give it a like. That way I'll know that there's demand for videos like this. And you can also follow the channel on Digital Academy, so you can watch these kinds of videos as soon as they're released. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.